Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. 78 years ago, the greatest and bloodiest conflict in human history ended. Poland suffered huge losses and has not received reparations from Germany, estimated at over 6 trillion zloty. The second occupier and aggressor, and Hitler's initial ally, Russia, not only did not bear any consequences for its crimes, but was treated as one of the victors. Only now are we seeing how it really turned out.
World War II ended with the signing of Germany's Act of Unconditional Surrender on May 8, 1945. The surrender of the Third Reich marked the end of the war in Europe, but there was still fighting with Japan.
W gruzy zawaliło się zło.
Evil had collapsed into rubble. The Third Reich, which had begun World War II in close consultation with Soviet Russia, was receding into the dustbin of history.
Na śmietnik historii.
World War II began on September 1st, 1939, with the Third Reich's attack on Poland. The implementation of the Fall Weiss Plan would not have been possible without the Soviet guarantees contained in the secret protocol of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which was signed on August 24th in Moscow. In it, the territory of the Republic of Poland was divided between two totalitarian regimes, Germany and Russia. They were two systems, despite what many people thought, similar to each other. One needed Lebensraum, the other world revolution. Their common goals met during the Hitler-Stalin Pact. Poland was the first to resist Germany and suffered the most severe losses for it. To this day, Poland has not received any compensation. In a report on the losses suffered by Poland as a result of German aggression and occupation, the value of damages was estimated at more than 6 trillion zloty. I think this is a certain process that we have set in motion, which has to continue in progress over the next weeks, months. And we simply have to make German politicians, the political class of journalists, aware that this is an unresolved problem. Analyzing Polish war losses, one cannot ignore the crimes committed against the Polish people by Soviet Russia after September 17th. It is high time to unmake history, written in accordance with Russian propaganda. Soviet Russia has never borne responsibility for the crimes it committed. For decades, it did not admit to the Katyn massacre. May 8th or 9th should not be a holiday for Poland. And what the Civic Platform did in 2015, that is moving this holiday from the 9th of May to the 8th of May, is a purely cosmetic procedure. This holiday should be cancelled because it is not true. Poles continue to fight for freedom. This is the idea and the deed of the cursed soldiers, continuing until the 1950s. The acceptance of the Soviets into the family of the victorious countries after World War II and turning a blind eye to its crimes still hiccups the West today. Hungary, Berlin, Cuba, Czechoslovakia, Afghanistan, Chechnya, Georgia, Syria, Crimea, and finally the invasion of Ukraine. This is the history of Soviet and later Russian imperialism after World War II in a nutshell. Taking children away from their families, resettling them in Russia. It's unbelievable. This is 2023, and that is terrifying. This is not history. It is happening now, and we don't yet know what the future may bring. The West should have learned the lessons of history long ago. It is impossible to do business with Russia because the mentality of this nation has not changed for several centuries. Moscow is still trying to revive the Soviet Empire. The conflict in Ukraine also has international significance. With each passing year, China is becoming a stronger player in global politics. A possible defeat of Ukraine, a nation so strongly supported by the United States, could embolden China to expand territorially, such as attacking Taiwan. The world has entered an increasingly polarized arrangement around the U.S. and China. The international security environment is becoming increasingly complex, uncertain, and interdependent. War in Europe was supposed to never happen again. It was hoped that it would serve as a warning to humanity, and especially to Europeans, who experience its atrocities the most. Last February 24th, the Russians reminded us that peace and freedom are not given once and for all.
Slovak President Zuzana Kaputova picked Central Bank Deputy Governor Ludovit Odor to lead a technocrat government after caretaker Prime Minister Eduard Heger quit on Sunday, just months before early elections in September. Slovakia, a European Union and NATO member, has struggled through months of political uncertainty as Heger's ruling coalition was weakened, coming amid a period of high inflation and war in neighbouring Ukraine. The country's political scene is fragmented ahead of an election that the largest opposition party, which is opposed to continued military aid to Kiev, may win. Haga, who has led the government since 2021, most recently in a caretaker capacity, quit after a spate of senior resignations and opposition calls to stand down. Kapitova said she would name the rest of Odor's technocrat government after the 15th of May. However, I can already confirm today that the current Vice-Governor of the National Bank of Slovakia, Ludovit Odor, will be the new Prime Minister. Slovakia needs stability, order, expertise and the return of decent politics like salt. I believe that the step I have to take, namely the appointment of a government of experts, will contribute to this. Odor, 46, has been a Deputy Governor of the National Bank of Slovakia since 2018. Slovakia lurched into crisis in September last year when Haga's ruling centre-right coalition lost its majority after the Libertarian SAS party quit, unhappy with efforts to help people hit by soaring energy and food costs. Haga lost a no-confidence motion in December and in January, lawmakers agreed to early elections in September. In the past week, the farm minister stepped down following a scandal over a subsidy for a firm he owns. He denied any wrongdoing. On Friday, the foreign minister offered his resignation. The departures left Haga leading several ministries, including finance, since such posts cannot be filled when the government is in office in a caretaker capacity. Polls favour the opposition Smer SD party, led by former Prime Minister Robert Fico, which has opposed military aid to Ukraine. Slovakia has been a strong backer of Kiev since Russia's invasion, and in April this year it sent its retired fleet of Soviet-made MiG fighters to Ukraine. Over 200,000 athletes around the world took part in the 10th running of the Wings for Life World Run charity race on Sunday. Organisers said that 206,728 athletes from 192 nationalities in 158 countries took part in the event, the biggest running event in the world, to raise funds for spinal cord research. The race started at 11 o'clock GMT, exactly the same time in each country. There was no finish line, but instead there was a catcher car that began its chase 30 minutes after the start signal. The male athlete to cover the furthest distance before being caught by the catcher car was Joe Fukuda of Japan, who completed 69.01 kilometers at the event held in Shinjuku City in Tokyo. It was the second time he had won the event.
I was in really tough condition today. Heavy rain and the wind, and sometimes my legs hurt. But I definitely wanted to win this time.
The best performance by a woman was Kasia Szkoda of Poland with a distance of 55.07 kilometers, taking 3 hours, 29 minutes, 22 seconds in the event in Poznan in Poland.
Not so bad, and feeling right now, holding this thing, which is the most precious one for me right now, is just incredible.
Eurovision 2023 kicked off on Sunday when 37 contenders walked the turquoise carpet in Liverpool, the English city hosting the competition on behalf of Ukraine. Under the banner United by Music, the 67th edition of the song contest will comprise 3 live shows that will unite the cultures of Ukraine in Liverpool, the birthplace of the Beatles, organisers have said.
It doesn't feel like a competition so far. It feels more like a festival. And the most beautiful thing about it, it's a festival of so many different genres, because actually festivals are mostly they're limited to a certain kind of genre. And it's very good to be here and feel this open-mindedness every day.
It feels
great.
amazing. Absolutely sensational.
Yeah, we're really, really lucky to be representing the Australian people and also the heavy music industry as a whole. We've been playing gigs for yonks. And we're playing the biggest one of them all. And it's a metal band from Perth, Western Australia. Who'd have thunk it? Here we are.
I had a band, and the aunt had a band.
The turquoise carpet is Eurovision's version of the red carpet. Ukraine was last year's winner but was unable to stage the event this year, as the winner usually does, because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The country's Kalush Orchestra won the 2022 contest initially with its entry, Stefania, a fusion of rap and traditional folk music that garnered public support from across the continent to claim an emotional victory. As last year's winner, the country has an automatic entry into next Saturday's grand final, along with the United Kingdom and the other Big Five members of the European Broadcasting Union: France, Germany, Spain and Italy. The other 31 contenders will compete in semi-finals on Tuesday and Thursday for 20 places in the grand final. Monika Linicta, who will be representing Lithuania in the contest, said she felt honoured to be participating even though she felt a lot of pressure on her shoulders. She will perform the song Stay in Thursday's semi-final. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.